Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Freeze hanging out in the Deceptilab as always. And this particular series is actually an interesting one because I had my first guest on the show this time, and it was actually Transformers Earth Wars community manager Dale from Space Ape. And we had about a 2 hour conversation just talking about the game, everything from just the state of the game to how we feel the game went in 2023 and we had a really good time, and so I wanted to share that interview with you guys. I'm breaking it down into multiple sections just based off of the different topics that we discussed. So make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, catch all of the videos in this series, and I will see you on my live streams, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Freezius out. Questions that I had. So I got a lot of players, and sometimes like randomly on my stream, we're talking about completely different stuff, and the question always comes up. We get a 5 star Overlord and Omega Supreme, and these 4 stars that have been coming out for the last couple of years are just been so much better. And I think a lot of people would after all the work they did to go get that 5 star would like to see a buff for them and some of the older combiners as well.
Yeah, I think it's hard with Omega Supreme because his 5 star came out 2021.
I think it was 20.
The only way you're gonna buff that is adding extra levels to him because I think he is a. There's this aspect that every 5 star should be better than a 4 star, but it also comes down to release dates as well.
Right.
I think that part of it is the release date of the 5 star because we're bringing out more 4 stars. They are going to have that slight edge, but when Omega Supreme gets more levels, he'll then have the edge back on the 4 stars again. We're definitely going to be bringing out 5 star combiners. God knows when. I hope next year is the year. I mean, I think we said this year that could be the year, and it wasn't the year unless we release
Yeah.
them in the next or so.
I was gonna
I
bring
know.
that up because, like, I want to say players have been hanging on to since Giannis said that in the stream, and I want to say it's been almost 2 years since he said that.
No, he
And
said that in January, I think.
was it January this year?
I
Because
think he said it, yeah, because
yeah.
I held him up about that as well. Don't you worry. I said, you said at the start of the year we're getting 5 star combiners. We're now in December and we don't have them. And he said, well, they don't vote for the 5 star combiner bots. He puts them in the vote and nobody votes for them. So yeah, he's putting in these little when we do the community vote, he's putting in these combiner bots and he keeps saying that no one's voting for them. So the next time we do a community vote, think, think make challenges to the team. If there's 5 star bots, if there's all the bots are a 5 star now, and then it's just a combiner. It's good to challenge the team to think, actually, how are you going to do this? Because I think at the minute they've got some ideas, but nothing concrete. So if we can push the vote, we'll have to speed up this thinking process a little bit more, which is just going to be so fun because it's just like, how are they going to do this? But yeah, I definitely see them coming very soon.
Now, with that being said, with the with 5 star combiners potentially on
Mm.
the horizon, do you think that it's a possibility that makes the game too easy offensively?
Um, you tell me. When Amiga came out, do you think it made the game too easy?
Personally, no, I don't.
No.
Um, and the thing is this: when I start to see offensive upgrades, when I start to see stronger combiners, when even like we just recently this past week had the captain rank, and so I'm the kind of guy that reads in between the lines and stuff, and so and you can correct me if I'm wrong, or you can stay silent. I think that whatever we got coming in phase 3 is going to be strong enough that we're going to need some of this stuff to stay competitive.
No, I don't think so yet.
Okay.
I don't think you need the ranks just yet because the massive thing for me right now is telling the team not to balance the game around the ranks.
Okay.
And I think the team agree with that. They don't want to, like, we just release a ranks. We're not going to balance the game around ranks straight away. That would just be unfair. It'd be just trying to force people to spend. It's not what we want to do. It's going to be some time where, we're thinking the bots are actually getting quite strong now. People got most people have got rank 2. And I think it'll come from war, really, Prime League
Yeah.
mainly. Get the stats on how many people's got like rank 2 bots or something, and if like 99% of you have, then it just makes sense to up the difficulty a little bit more, because it is obviously going to be too easy for you. But no, I don't think it'll make the game too easy. I think we're always looking at ways on. Again, we've got this argument in war: is it too easy? Is it too hard? Will we ever find the balance of it? You make it too hard and then people complain that the queue times are too long, and then you make it too easy and then they complain that we're at 12k. So it's like it's a battle in itself in trying to find that middle ground. But next year, again, I always think that Prime League War should always be in a state where you're not getting to 12k, and it's probably getting to that point over the holidays now where you're probably getting to 12k. I think for the holidays, that's fine. Everybody should just relax and not take war too pushy. But in January, I think maybe we need a bit of a upscale in difficulty, or February, just something to just bring
Shake
back
things
the
up. Yeah.
shake things up a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll be something good. But over the holidays, it's no concern. But I think a perfect score for me in Prime League hard mode is probably around 10 to 11k is what I like to
As
see.
I have to agree with that, and honestly, um, I do get annoyed sometimes. There are some people that's like, look at this score, it's like 11K, and that's like, yeah, that's cool. Like to me, and the way that I always explain it is, if the deciding factor is who got there first, that's bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. I hate that. That's boring. How boring is that? Oh, we
Right.
lost. Why?
I coined
Because
faster than
I
you
had
coined.
yeah, you're going faster than me, or I had to pop out to the shop. No, that's not a way to win. That just sucks.
Right.
So yeah. That's no. I never ever want to see Prime League hard mode in that situation with somebody. I mean, over the holidays, it's fine.
Nah, I was like, I mean,
Just chill.
there are teams up here that they recruited all guys that are great at the game, and at the end of the day, that's okay. You know, and to your point earlier, there are going to be intervals where you want to go add the defense, to the defensive side of things, because hey, we're noticing a trend that people are getting, it's getting a little bit too easy, um, and that's cool. Like, I do feel like they're going to be I do feel like a lot of times, and like I said, maybe I'm wrong in that when you start to build offensively, like going into like you did a set of war effects recently, and we hadn't done the war effects I think since February earlier this
Yeah,
year, and it's like, but this is like one of the few times we start to see stuff on the offensive side, and some of the top players were upset about that. They said, "Oh, that's going to be too easy," but I think they were pretty modest. But I think there's times when you give buffs before you go into something heavier defensively.
yeah. I think that the holiday period is. I mean, how are war holding up in your opinion? Like, do you like the combo effects with fire and electric? Like, to be fair, these were my first war effects that I put together, and I just thought, why not? Why not do something for the other elements? I think I was getting annoyed from a
Right.
player point of view having everything on acid.
Asset. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, as a player, give me more options, please. Space Ape, give me more options.
So I'll tell you what I do think. I think the war effects themselves I think they're fine. When I
Mm.
really started to like things is when we get the cosmic rust blaster.
Oh yeah, because it obviously, of course, it
Yeah.
works with the war effects as well, because if you do fire damage, it will do an explosion, or electric will zap a building. So I guess
Yeah.
you're playing that as well.
And the thing is, for me, is, and this is why I've been a lot of times when I'm on my stream, I tell players, I was like, you don't have to. I see guys that go up there and they say, no, you have to use 5 star through 2 star nightstick, and I'm like, or fracas, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you can just go out there and like, and it's weird because like with Top Shot and Fireline, for example, the biggest thing was like, hey, there was a a nerf, but I was like, well, when I look at it holistically, I looked at it and said, hey, immediately after that, the acid meta started, and you had that 20% combo off of it. So, like, how much did you actually lose? But people will not. Is it there? People up there in top leagues, they will not use him. They was like, no, he's nerfed, and I was like, but he combines with acid and gives you more damage. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that I kind of looked at and said,
I don't like it when players force their like teams on you. I just think like
right,
you say, you back and I had a chat with another content creator about this. Is that they wanted to know the win rates of Prime League hard mode, and I got them, and I was so close to sending it to them to just discuss for their stream.
right,
But then in one hand, it does like, is that bad for the game discussing win rates with people in Prime League hard mode? Because the one thing that makes this game very strong is that we can have a debate on what's right or wrong. You can bring your sides to the argument. I can bring my sides to the argument, and then other content creators. You do this with other content creators, like best spots of 2023 or something,
right,
and it's great to watch. Like I love
for
it. I
sure.
love what. Yeah, I love watching it. So I hope you're doing another one this year, by the way.
Yeah,
I love to watch it, but what I don't want the debate to be is, okay, we've got the data. This bot has an 80% win rate, so they're number one, and you can't challenge me anymore because you're wrong. I like the debate of what's right or wrong. And I just think if we shared data on win rates, it would eliminate the discussion because people would just go, no, you're wrong. Look at the data. Look at the data. I don't want it to be like that. I like people who argue no, it's good because of this reason. They might be wrong, but they found a love in that play style, and that's great.
and honestly, like I've made my whole channel just basically off that principle. And I was like, one of the biggest arguments I get in is, when you look at Headstrong and Bludgeon compared to, when you look at them, Pipes and
Pipes again.
Ironhide, and I was just like, and a lot of people they make all these arguments and it says, oh man, well he's cheaper. I was like, yeah, on repeat use. I said they both cost 3 that first time, and I was like, if I'm using them 16 times in the battle, then yeah, maybe I'd be concerned. I'm using them twice, so you know what I mean. So it's those kind of anecdotal arguments that I just look at and I say,
And I
yeah,
don't want it to come down to data, so that's why I'm very hesitant on sharing numbers,
right,
because I do like listening to people debate about things, and then I'll check. There's been times where you and Wazza and a few other content creators will do your best bots of 2024.
right.
My head I'm thinking, are they really the best bots for 2024? And then I'll look at the data and I'll be like, huh, it's very interesting. They bring some good points, but maybe they're wrong.
Nah, I got you.
No, I love it. I love it, and I just, I love it. So yeah, it's just very interesting because I think there was one bot that you ranked like fifth. He had a very poor win rate in the Prime League. Very
Oh
poor
yeah,
win rate. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's another, So it's just, it's really cool to see these debates because this is where we think, right? You think they're really good, but maybe like people don't know how to play these bots, and that's why they're losing. And when I say like poor win rate, I think it was like 45% or something. I'm not going to tell you what bot it was, but it just
yeah.
shows that you find value in this, but maybe other people don't find value in these bots.
And that's a good point because I tell people all the time, I was like, two things that really matter are your actual tactics and then the team synergy. So somebody say, a lot of people will just go into Discord or go into the Line app and they just say, "Hey, what's the best?" And I was like, "Whoa, who do you got?" And and you'd be surprised. There are people who actually won't share with me what their bots are. And I'm like, well,
Wow.
why are you keeping that a secret? And it's like, no, I'm just asking, what is everybody using in Prime League? And I was like, you know what? Since you're gonna keep your secrets, I'm gonna keep mine too. We'll just
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's just interesting just seeing the teams people use. But I'd say there's people are there's a few bots that people are using the same, but then you've got a whole ton of bots that people like to switch and change, and you
right,
don't see a whole, it's the 8 same bots, which is good. I mean, of course you get 2 or 3 who are exactly the same because they are
right.
probably a cut up of everybody else. But there's a nice mix of other bots that people are using, which is always good to see as well. So Yeah, and another reason why we're doing Legacy as well is to obviously increase that diversity in what's being used. Whether it helps, cool. Whether it doesn't, and we tried. So at least we're doing something about it. Going back and
Yeah.
looking at old content. So yeah, all good.